As we walk the streets of our towns and cities, we are not really obliged to do anything other than look at the shop fronts and potentially buy something. That is, more often than not, the intention of the shop owners. However, the wise archaeologist or historian knows that all they need to do is take some time to look up, and all sorts of surprising things will begin to appear. Nuggets of wonderful architectural details, the original designs of buildings, the dates for when those buildings were actually made are all just a glance away. All we need do is remember to look up. A change in perspective can do wonders for seeing history all around you. Here, for example, is a rather grand-looking Citizens Advice Bureau office. Now, it's actually physically attached to a church next door. This is because originally this building served as the vicarage for the church. Here is a beauty parlour, which once saw service as a bank, and in turn saw service, or indeed sees service, as a Masonic lodge. Sometimes the middle of town shifts, so that even the most innocuous of buildings, such as this one here, actually once served a very vital function, in this case, the post office. And above AJ's takeaway is in fact an old advert for snuff. Sometimes it's not looking up, but looking down that we must remember to do. Here, if you weren't careful, you would completely miss where the authorities have marked out where the Roman fort of Wallsend once stood. Here was one of the towers. In the case of trends and textiles on the high street, looking down reveals what this shop was originally built for. It once served as boots, and here is the photographic evidence, a photograph from 1910. Sometimes modern artwork, such as this sculpture here, can tell us about the function of this area. 100 years ago, this actually served as a market, more specifically a chicken and farm market. And in other cases, modern or relatively modern developments, such as this shopping centre, can reveal something about this town's Roman heritage. Sometimes it's not what's there, but what's missing that tells us about the past. In this case, we can see a church, which is very clearly missing its steeple. If we look at photos from many years ago, we can see that this church did once have a steeple, indicating that it's changed its denomination in the past 100 years. However, in our hunt for history, we must never be fooled by shop signs that aren't quite as old as they at first may seem. So, no matter where we are, or how modern the environment may seem, we can always be reassured that history is only ever a glance away.